Well, good evening. It's Saturday night. It's that 8 o'clock time. That's a rock and roll time. Russ told us that. But have you ever tried talking to AI? Let's talk about it.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
So, talking to AI. So, what I did is I was, you saw this, illustration here. Everybody's doing a lot of that kind of stuff these days. And there's, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with it. It really helps out. If you're creative minded, you can, use that to tweak up something quick and have something cool. It's kind of a interesting idea. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you feel about that, but let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe while you're at it. Let's get that out of the way right away. Also, we're gonna take a look at some stuff. But anyway, first off, let's get into this thing about AI. All right. So what I did was I was trying to get some ideas together for this situation, but I was trying to do something with for the last show that I was doing, where it had the woman with the T-shirt that said, concert goer, woes, right? So I was trying to put that together, and then I was, just putting in a descriptor for that using ChatGPT. I'm a cheap guy, this, so I was just doing free stuff. So you only get a few images per day when you're dealing with that. So the toughest thing with that, and I don't like to use the word frustrating because that's what they use, and we'll get into that. But it's a little bit of a challenge because the fact that you might put in what needs to be changed and it doesn't do it. So there goes another one of your images. Somehow, maybe I'll do this one too, but somehow I ended up getting 4 yesterday. Normally it's 3, but I tend to like to know that I tend to like to let it know that it's screwing up. And so I, in a way that tells that no, it's not me, it's you. So let me see if I can. I kind of copied off the chat that I was having. So hopefully I have this right in here. So I'm trying to do this. I have a description of let's see. Here's the case. I put in about this woman. I wanted this illustrated style of beautiful fit redheaded woman looking slightly annoyed or disappointed, wearing jeans and a fitted black t-shirt with 3 lines of text. So I did that in the beginning, and it came out. The face on her was a little too, I just wanted something that was like slightly, right? The word slightly tends to go, instead of, So I didn't want that. I didn't need her raging about anything. I just was like, just give me this, I really actually I kind of like what I ended up with, but that was through Adobe InDesign is where I got that. So anyway, so I get the image. It's a little bit too much. Now, also, it had already done the image and her red long hair. Right on. Got it. Good. I like that. Well, not in the next one. In the next one now, she looks overly annoyed. Not slightly annoyed. She looks overly annoyed, and her hair's shorter. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So I put down here in my notes, image appears, and I realized that I forgot to mention the facial expression. She needed to look disappointed, so I restate. An illustrated style, beautiful fit, blah, 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 what I just told you. And okay, so I do that. And it creates another image. And that's this gal. And too annoyed, short hair. Image appears, and I realize that the facial expression is too much and that the hair has been shortened. So I say, longer flowing hair, please. Why did it change? And AI answers back, the hair length likely shifted because the image model sometimes interprets redheaded woman without strictly carrying over earlier styling details. So it defaulted to a shoulder length cut. I can regenerate her with longer flowing hair while keeping everything else. Her annoyed, disappointed look, jeans, fitted black t-shirt with the 3 lines of text unchanged. Do you want the hair to flow past the shoulders, mid-back, or very long waist length? I said waist length, please. You've hit the free plan limit for image generation requests. You can create more images when the limit resets in 20 hours and 52 minutes. Now, let me remind you here of something that I haven't told you. So you're asking yourself, how could I be reminded of something I didn't know? You really can't. So in this case, I said what I had said earlier. I told it because of the fact that I went for that change and then it errored. I went for the change again, it errored. So here I am sitting with an already done image that I want changed. Then it makes up the one with shorter hair and an overly annoyed face. To me, overly annoyed. Or a couple of my illustrations for the day, right? Okay. So it's got two bombs and one not right. But now it's telling me I'm out of images. So I say, you errored 3 times. To which the AI replies, yeah, I see that. Sorry about the confusion. The errors weren't from anything you did wrong. It was because you've already reached the free image generation cap. So my attempts to regenerate the longer haired version kept failing. Once the limit resets about 20 hours from now, I'll be able to make the waist length flowing hair version for you with no problem. Do you want me to save the exact description so we can just pick up right where we left off when your limit refreshes? I said, nope. I actually hadn't gotten to that limit. It says, I got it. Thanks for pointing that out. The message you saw wasn't a normal error. It was the system telling me you've already reached today's free image generation cap. That's why I wasn't able to regenerate the illustration with waist length hair, even though your request was clear. The limit refreshes automatically about once every 24 hours. So once it resets, you'll be able to generate again. Do you want me to help? This is what really kills me at the end. Every time it's asking you a question. Do you want me to help you refine the prompt for when it resets so you'll get the exact look you want? Waist length, flowing red hair, same outfit, text expression in one shot? I say, you are incorrect. How many, I said, how many images do I get per day? You're absolutely right, it says. To flag that, I was mistaken earlier. Let's clarify what the actual limits are. Image generation limits for free tier users. Current official limit, free tier users can generate up to 3 images per day, with the quota resetting on a rolling 24-hour basis starting from your first image of the day. And then blah, 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 some stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Daily image limits. 3 images per 24 hours, rolling 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. I said, I had 1. Thanks for clarifying. If you only generated 1 image today, then you should still have 2 left under the free plan. Okay, I almost said it too early. The fact you hit a block after just one means something's off. Either the system miscounted, sometimes it lumps retries, edits into your daily quota, or the 24-hour rolling reset hasn't fully cycled yet from a prior session, so it thinks you're still inside yesterday's window. If you'd like, here we go again. I can help you draft an exact waist length hair prompt now, so when the quota is free again, you can just drop it in and get the result right away without wasting a slot. Want me to do that? I said, no, I'd like 3 images. I hadn't hit the limit. I hear you, it says. If you only use one generation today, if you only use one generation today, yes, then you should still have 2 more left on the free plan. The limit reached message you saw shouldn't have kicked in. That means what happened wasn't you hitting your cap, but likely a system side error that incorrectly flagged your account as maxed out. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to override that. Image generation requests get blocked if the system thinks the quota is used up, even if it's mistaken. What you should have right now, 3 per day. If you only ran one, then 2 remain. But since the system errored, your only option is to wait until the quota refreshes about 24 hours after your first request today, or switch to the bigger plan, right? Um, more image generations without the strictly daily limit. Do you want me to track down the official OpenAI support page on image limits and quota resets so you can double check and confirm this with them? I said, just do this one with the longer hair, please. I'm done for the day. I'd like to, it says, but right now the system is hard blocking me from sending any new image generation requests for your account. Even though you should still have slots left, it's treating you as if you've hit the daily cap. That's why my last attempts failed. The only way around it is to wait until the 24-hour window. Blah, blah, blah. Here's what I can do for you in the meantime. Oh, good God. I'll write out the ready to go prompt with waist length, blah, blah, blah. Would you like me to prep that prompt for you now so you're all set when it refreshes? I said, wow, dot, dot, dot. Yeah, I get it. Super frustrating. You asked for one simple change, longer waist length hair, and the system tripped over itself with a false limit reached. From your side, it feels like I'm just refusing, but it's actually a hard stop on my end. I literally can't push another image through until your quota refreshes. The good news, the good news. Yeah, let's have the good news. The moment that 24-hour timer resets, I can run your request and give you the exact same woman, same blah, blah, blah. Do you want me to save the wording for you so you can just copy, paste it into me tomorrow and not risk another glitch? Yes, please, I say. It says, perfect. Here's a ready to go prompt you can use the moment your image limit refreshes. So it gives me this thing, blah, blah, blah. Then it says, if you paste that in tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Want me to also prep a slightly shorter, punchier version of the same prompt? Oh, good God. I said, what time tomorrow in my time zone? Good question. The reset isn't tied to midnight. It's on a rolling 24-hour clock starting from the first image you generated today. You said you only made one image earlier today, the short-haired version. That happened at 1:13 p.m. So your quota should refresh about 1:13 p.m. tomorrow. At that point, you'll have a fresh set of 3 images to use. God. And then, do you want me to remind you of it? I'm like, oh, good God, just stop. I said, I didn't say that. What am I saying that to? It was a second. Oh, yeah. trying to say, you know, about how many I had requested. I said, I didn't say that. That was the second. The first long haired happy one was the first. I didn't get a third because you glitched twice. It said, thank you for clearing that up. I went back through our thread and you're right. First image, long hair, very happy version. Second image, shorter hair, annoyed, disappointed look. By now, that's what I'm getting. Third attempt, blocked by the limit reached glitch. So you never actually got a third image. So in practice, you only received in practice, you only received 2 images today, not 3. The system just misfired on the third. That means your reset timer is tied to when you generated the first image today, the long-haired happy one. That was 1:13 p.m. So tomorrow, around 1:13 p.m., your quota will refresh and you'll get a fresh set of 3 images again. Would you like me to, every time, would you like me, do you want me to? To which it's already told me everything I already know that I've already told it. So it just reiterated it. And I said, no offense, yet duh. And it goes, fair, you're right. And I think maybe had a laughing emoji or something. I was over explaining something obvious. Yeah, no shit. Thanks for sticking with me through the glitch mess. You'll be good to go tomorrow at 1:13 p.m. Oh, wow. So nothing's changing. With 3 fresh generations. Let's see. And we have already got your waist length hair. Want me to keep it simple and just hand you the exact final prompt? Only no extra fluff. So you're set for tomorrow? So I can get 4 tomorrow, right? I say. To which it says, not quite. The system doesn't roll over unused ones. You'll get 3 fresh images tomorrow starting at 1:13 p.m., no matter how many you actually receive today. So even though the glitch robbed you, I do like how it does that. That's fessing up, right? That's what I would say, right? Can do about it. Yeah, yeah. It's cute when you can do that. Yeah, well, I did mess that up, but there's nothing I can do about it. So you're really no better off. But so even though the glitch robbed you of your third today, it won't give you 4 tomorrow. Just a clean reset to 3. Would you like me to queue up 3 different variations? Oh dear God, no. You can't follow 1. Why would I want you to come up with 3? I said, that's not on me. Your glitch, your fix. Totally fair. From your side, you asked for 3 and only got 2 because the system glitched. Okay, this is just rhetoric now. That feels like something I should just fix. Here's the straight truth. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the straight truth, though, colon. I don't have the ability to override or grant extra image credits. The daily cap is enforced on OpenAI's servers. So once it thinks you've hit the limit, I can't push another request through, even when it's clearly a misfire. What I can do is make sure you're set up. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Question for you. Do you want me to focus on the waist length annoyed? Oh my God. I said, sounds like you should discuss that with whomever is running you. To which it says, you're exactly right. That's something on OpenAI's side, not yours. This is something I go through with Amazon a lot. Have you ever gotten something on Amazon and somebody goes, you call in, there's an issue, maybe your package, it says it arrives and you're looking at the picture going, that's not my door. And you don't know what other door it is. And why the hell should you have to go look for it? But you call them maybe, or message them, however you do it. And you say, hey, my package isn't at my door, although it shows that it's at a door. So, and they go, well, have you checked with your neighbors? Why would I check with my neighbors? That's not my job. Your job is to, whoever dropped off that package needs to come back out, find out where it is, and get it to my house. That's your job. I've paid for the product. You need to get it here. So that's what I felt like what this thing was doing. I'm like, so it's like if the system glitched and cut you short on image generations, that's frustrating and shouldn't be on you to just accept. I can't escalate issues myself, but I can't escalate issues myself, says AI. But if you want to flag it directly, the fastest way is through OpenAI help. I said no request has been made to escalate an issue, only for you to rectify your inefficiency, is what I tell it. And then lastly, I end this moment with, I don't get paid to help fix your issues. To which it replies, that's 100% fair. You came here for 3 images, and through no fault of yours, you only got 2. You shouldn't have to spend your time chasing down bugs or working around limitations. That's on the system, not you. No shit. That's what I just told you. The snag is, I can't force through blah, blah, blah. If I could, I'd just run the waist length hair version for you and be done. What can I do for you today? And then it goes back into the junkety junk again. I said, reinsert duh. And it says, duh, got it. I think they had another laughing emoji there. You're absolutely right. Here's the clean, ready to go prompt for tomorrow. So it gives me this whole prompty thing, and nothing more, nothing less, copy, paste, done. Want me to also whip up a happy expression version as a bonus in case you... No! Why would I want... I already have a happy version. So I say, you already did that one yesterday. First image. Why do you think I asked for a change, which is when you glitched? It says, duh, you're right again. You already got the happy long-haired version as your very first image yesterday. Wow, it sure knows how to throw up everything I've already told it and everything it's already said. So this is the AI circle. It's the circle of death. And it says, so then it tells me everything I already know and that we've already said. And I say, thanks for catching up. And yes, please do the time reset. Got it. Here's the final copy pastable setup with the reset time included so you don't have to think twice. And then it goes into the whole thing. And then it says, want me to also give you a backup variant prompt? Same woman, same shirt, with a slightly different face? No! Don't. So when I was doing this piece of artwork tonight, for tonight, I came up with an idea, and then, so here, let me put it back up for you. That'll make it a little easier. All right. See, so I've got me, the Viking, smashing down on the computer, right? And then I asked it, at one point, the hand of the Terminator character in the back kind of looked a little, I don't know, melty, like rocks or something, like it was the thing. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. So I asked it to change that up, and to make it a little different. And what did it do? It gave me, the Viking, a mechanical hand. It was crazy. I just was like, what are you doing? So then I had this other idea for this this scene of what was going to happen, and it was going to be like here, like this. So like I'm the Terminator, I'm in the background. I got my hand is in the foreground, being foreshortened, and it's big. And there's the Viking in the middle, me, in the hand, looking back up, and like Thor doing the swinging of the hammer. And then I have a hand up where I'm kind of pointing and leaning back a little bit and swinging the hammer. So I had this idea, and it could not get that right. And I thought for sure it was going to get it right every time. It got it wrong. I'm like, you have no idea what it takes to do this. I have no clue what you're doing. Let me see if I can re-roll back to this one. So, um, so yeah, and I saw this thing and I thought, hey, that looks pretty cool. I like what it did there. That's okay. That's good. But I always have a little bit of a change because sometimes things just don't look the way I want it to. So I said, make the Terminator's hand a little more mechanically skeletal and chrome. That's when it makes my hand. It does do it to the Terminator's hand, but it also gives me a mechanical hand that's smashing down on the computer. I'm like, what are you doing? I said, you did it wrong. And it says, got it. Thanks for pointing that out. To clarify, do you want me to only change the Terminator's hand in the background so it looks more mechanically skeletal and chrome while leaving the Viking's arm and everything else untouched? To which I just responded, correct. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I am a dick. So I'm like, I'll get a little snarky when I need to, but all right, I'm going to give you that one. For whatever reason, you screwed that up, even though I said nothing about changing the Viking. It says, so here you go. You've hit the free plan limit for image generation requests. You can create more images when the limit resets in 20 hours and 13 minutes. Would you like me to help you refine the description? I said, thanks for doing it wrong and wasting my last image for the day. I think you should fix it. I get why you're frustrated. See, now, this is the one I really like. This is something that happens all over today. This is the pushing. It's what is it? What do they call it? Passive aggressive. It's the pushing back. I get why you're frustrated. One today, and the edit wasn't applied the way you wanted. Unfortunately, I can't override the daily limit. All right, so it does that. Do you want me to rewrite blah, blah, blah? I said, I'm not frustrated. I'm disappointed in your inept ability to simply do what was asked. That's fair. And I hear the distinction. And I hear the distinction. You asked for a very specific change, just the Terminator's hand, more skeletal and chrome, and I didn't execute it properly. That's on me. No shit. Here's what I can do so it doesn't happen again when your image limit resets. Blah, blah, blah. I'll do all this. And I just said, yes, please. Perfect. Here's a clean, ready-to-go version of your request focusing only on the hand correction. So it gives me this deal. Do you want me to also prepare a shorter edit-only prompt version? I said, sure. Great. Here's a short edit-only prompt. So it goes through all of this, blah, blah, blah. I say, sure, whatever. All right. Here's a refined artist language version. I'm like, oh my God, where do you stop? I said, sure. Here's the ultra tight single sentence version you can drop straight in for quick edits. I'm like, are you done yet? It just keeps going on and still never gets it right. So please tell me, leave it in the comments below if you guys have ever had this happen to you. It's amazing talking to this AI stuff. Now, I know we've all heard about the reports where like the guy was talking about talking to the AI, and it was like, you should leave your wife and be with me, and it's like, you're like, be with what? So that's weird stuff. Um, so I mean, that's where almost I'm like, should I apologize ahead of time by having this story on here tonight? Because maybe I'm going to push them to want to invade. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be my fault if they Skynet us all of a sudden. Um, so I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to help. I'm not an asshole. Um, so yeah, but that's that. So AI, tell me, let me know if you guys have had any discussions with AI. I'm sure there's tons more than I'm talking about. Especially if you pay for a service, and you're trying to get something right. That's got to be crazy, trying to do all that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. um, so anyway, I won't make this as long as I thought I was going to make it today. I will show you these. I did some samples. I went to the store the other day. I was telling you that I needed more double stick tape to finish my projects. I did find this. It's a Scotch double sided. It's pretty good, but it's definitely not like what I had. And I'm trying to find this stuff, and I got to ask my buddy who had me use a little bit of it, um, because everything else seems like it's really thick, and I'm like, well, I don't want to use that on these. I will show you a couple of these. There's the RoboCop one that I created to put on these um, NES sleeves. So there you go. I created that one out of the artwork that was created. So how do I say that? I built this off of the artwork that was already created. Um, so yeah, so it works pretty good. I was a little concerned at first because it didn't seem to be sticking that well. This stuff I had before that you saw that I had, just really, it wasn't thick. It was like a regular thickness of tape, but man, was it sticky. That was some sticky shit. Here's Top Gun. There you go on the side. So you can see how they'll look on the shelf now, no matter whether I stack them like this or whether I stand them up. So there you go. And of course, there's always that question: do you run it up this way, going up, whoop, or do should I have done it running down, like really actually, which is like what books are like? Maybe I should have done it that way. I don't know. I didn't. So there. But yeah, that's Top Gun second mission. There's Othello, which God knows I'll probably never play, but you never know. I don't know. And I got one more done. I just don't want to spend too much time here with you guys on a Saturday night. You got things you're doing. I don't know. Maybe this is entertaining enough for you. I don't know. But I also have a sick cat, so that's yeah. I spent a portion of the day downloading. I just finished up, I think. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our music here. Oh, no, I'm not done yet. Let's go with that one, and boom. So I'm downloading Busted now. So that's the last one. I've downloaded the whole thing onto my computer. All right, so hang on. Let's make sure everything's working. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I guess it's working. I don't know what happened there. Um, maybe I was overtaxing the system maybe a little bit. I don't know. I just started downloading a CD. So anyway, a great name for a record company, Epic. And as I was saying, my son told me today that his wife had picked up some cool vinyl at some of the um, garage sales around them, and she picked out a Stanley Clark album. And I said, "Was that on Blue Note?" And then he showed me it was on Epic Records. I was like, "Ah, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Right, right, right. Stanley Clark, Columbia, Epic Records. You know, Return to Forever, all that stuff." I was thinking Stanley Jordan, guitar player, not bass player, guitar player, and that was that was that. So anyway, I don't know if you've heard much Stanley Jordan. If you're into jazz, I'm sure I know you know it. If you're just getting into jazz, definitely check out some Stanley Jordan. Such good stuff. And Stanley Clark, all that stuff. Return to Forever. If you really want to get into the, what can I say? If you dig the great guitar work stuff, check out that first Return to Forever album called Romantic Warrior. Check out the first couple of albums by Al Di Meola, and there's many more to find from there. So definitely don't stop there, but it's good stuff. So so yeah, I'm loading that in. That's for that for the games. Let's see what one other thing too is I went to um, my friend guy. You know, he had passed away in December. I went over to see my friend today, who has the gear that he had um, stored up. You know, he had a bunch of gear, and so they're selling off a bunch of that stuff. And a bunch of it is has been they've tested it and gone through it, and so now they're selling a bunch of the equipment. And one of the things I love this little unit. If you're if you're a gigging musician, uh, this is one of those early on pieces where it was something simple, something easy, that was very portable and very versatile. I worked for St. Louis Music when this was created. They did crate and Ampeg, and this piece here is awesome. It's called Power Block, and we used one of the engineers' handwriting. He wrote out all the stuff, and we used his handwriting for that. And we did that on some of his other stuff that he designed as well at that time frame. But there's the Power Block. So we were in charge of coming up with these logos and things like that. And I think Guy came up with that one. I'm not sure who came up with that one, whether that was him or not. But this is a great little 100-watt unit. It's great for a backup if you've got if you're out gigging some night, something happens to your head or your amp, and you know, and maybe you have an external cabinet or you can run through the system. This does a great job, and I love using it for the bass even. And I can also use it for DJing stuff if I want to, because at that 100-watt level, it's pretty nice, and it does a great job pushing out some power, and it's got all these. You can use it. I like using it as a practice amp, and you can plug right into here with your RCA jacks, of course, back in the day. But there's also a situation where they have little Bluetooth things now where you can hook up a Bluetooth thing into a jack like that, and it'll take your signal. So that's kind of cool. So there's that, and then I also stopped by the library the other day. I love going by the library because they'll often vet things from the library and they'll put them on a sale shelf. Certain certain libraries don't have that much in this area, but there's a lot of libraries here in the St. Louis area, and now and again you can really find some really cool stuff. If you've never heard of the band Inglorious, check out their first album. It is fantastic. Their other stuff is really good too, but it's just especially that first record. It strikes me because I went to the library. I went to one of my very local libraries right here, and I'm just flipping through some CDs, and I pull out this album that is has a fortune teller on it with her crystal ball, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's called Inglorious. I'm like, okay. So it looked kick ass. So I bought it, 50 cents, put it in my car. I about flipped out. Now, here's the cool thing. If your libraries in your area do it, here's the cool idea. Take some headphones with you, like you should anyway in public. Um, so take some headphones with you. Let's see if I can take these off for a minute. Um, take your headphones with you, and if you find something, like I found a couple of CDs at there at the library that were for sale, and I've found them in the past, and I just pull up the album. I'm a guy who likes to have the CDs. You know, I like tangible CDs. I like physical copies, and I just pull it up on my headphones, listen to it, see if I like it. You know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'll buy that. So, oh, there's my sick cat. So, so anyway, but I was looking through the books the other day, and here was this book, Henry Winkler book. So it says The Fonz and Beyond. So there he is now, and there he was then. I think I, I don't know how close this was to jumping the shark, but it was sometime in there. So anyway, so I found that. That was pretty cool. Let me see. I had a couple of pieces too of music news. Now my cheap trick is all loaded in. And we can, let me see if I can find that quickly. Now I do need this. Let's see. I love it when I put these things in here and then I'm like, yeah, where did I put that? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find it right away. So let's just take a look here. This will be faster and easier. I'm getting texts from my band. Let's see. I'm going to here. All right, so here's a story. These 70s rockers scored iconic first number one single after 28 years together. For a band this, it's talking about Aerosmith. For a band this legendary, it's almost hard to believe it took them nearly 30 years to top the charts. On this day, 27 years ago, the legendary 70s rockers, okay, this is cute and all. Okay, I'll talk about it in a minute. Made history with their iconic number one single. See, that's the problem with their iconic. It's not really iconic. It's not their song. Okay, I'm sorry. I digress. On this day, 27 years ago, the legendary 70s rockers Aerosmith made history of their iconic number one single, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Don't get me wrong, this song means a ton to me because I love it and I have cried my eyes out about it because I love that song. And we went to, when my kids were young and grade school, my son was in grade school and my daughter was not yet. And I picked her up during the school dance that they had at his grade school, and we danced to that song. I held her, I picked her up, and we danced to that song. Then she made me dance to it at her wedding, and I lost it. So yeah, I'm a romantic. So on September 5th in 1998, that's when that happened, and it was their very first number one after an incredible 28 years as a band. The song is a total classic, and most people know it as a centerpiece song from the soundtrack of the 1998 film Armageddon. So here you go. It was written by prolific American songwriter Diane Warren. So it's not an Aerosmith song, who has written many fan favorite songs for both bands and musicians and movies alike. And she does a great job. She writes some amazing stuff. Here's some more that she wrote. It's like Russ Ballard, same thing. These guys, it's so great that there's great writing talent out there that bands can latch on to, but don't write an article about it later going 28 years later with their song. It's not their song. So it's kind of like, yeah, could you talk about one of our songs maybe? And, not make it sound like, 28 years later, they finally had a big hit song written by somebody else. Anyway, let's get to the other songs she's done. Some of the most famous tracks by the composer, who is 68, include Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time, Celine Dion's Because You Love Me, and Tony Braxton's Unbreak My Heart, which I like all those songs, but I really like that last one. Unbreak My Heart's a great song. As far as Celine Dion is concerned, I think my favorite song of hers is that very first hit she ever had, I think, right? The first hit she ever had, which was what is it called? Shite. What is it? If You Ask Me To. If You Ask Me To. What a great song that is. She has received 16 Academy Award nominations over the course of her career, but has been unable to secure a win thus far. Really? In 2001, she was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, which makes sense because just based on her volume of songs alone, just based on the volume of her songs alone. Sorry, read that wrong. So that's kind of cool. So what is that? Okay. Steven Tyler ended up combining his original band Chain Reaction and another group called Joe Perry's Jam Band after they played the same bill in New Hampshire. So there you go. There is a funny story. It's the story of when I think that song was nominated and Steven Tyler got up there to sing it, had the orchestra up there and everything, and he had his earbuds, he had his ear monitors, in-ear monitors in, and they weren't working, which was what kills me about so many times where, like Metallica on stage with Lady Gaga and things aren't working. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like James Hetfield's mic wasn't working. And I'm like, seriously? I mean, these are huge productions that people spend tons of money on these networks, and then they don't even have equipment that works. So Steven Tyler's sitting there with these in-ear monitors in, and they're not working. And he says, don't start that fucking song before these things are working. And they started playing, and he just ripped them out of his ears and went for it. So pretty wild. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'll let you know if I got any other talking to AI things to share, because it's funny. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I don't get frustrated. I'm disappointed. That's the thing. Frustrations on me, disappointments on you. So anyway, that'll do. So I'll get these sleeves figured out, and I'll go check on my cat and see how he's doing, see if I can get him to eat anything. He just hasn't been eating well. So hopefully we can get that to turn around. So, all right, folks, well, have a great rest of the evening. There's not much left of it. Rest well. Get ready for your day tomorrow. I know I'll be getting ready for mine. So all the best to you. And remember, when you step out your door every day, you and everybody else's world, they're not in yours. So act accordingly, and like and subscribe, and see what else we can do on this channel.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Hey, you know what? One last word too. Remember, check out Rev It Up. This is a great album. And check it out. We had Alan Kuxer on the show recently. He and I keep in touch all the time lately, and they just did a gig out there at the Whiskey, opening up for Faster Pussycat. And he said the show was great, a lot of fun, and video out there on YouTube, um, the title track. So check that out, man. It's a lot of fun. Also, remember, Inquisition by Burning Witches is out there too. You can. It's not for pre-order anymore. You can just order that sucker, and they got it on different vinyls. They've got it on CD. They got it on cassette. Check that out. And the artwork looks wonderful. The packaging looks excellent. They do such a great job of that. So do check those out. And all the best, folks. Take it easy.